So today, as part of our preparation, the last part is on Indriya Samvara. And why I'm taking the last part is because after having good grasp of the breath, watching, it is now time to get into Indriya Samvara. So three terms we need to understand in a proper way. The first term is that how do we relish? So in Pali, that relishing is adhimuchyati. Adhi means excessive. Muchyati means indulges. So when something is pleasant, felt pleasant as feeling, then there is adhimuchyati. That means there is relishing. Cite an example. So now on this flight, I'm going to have a near pleasurable experience, meaning I can stretch my leg and sit, which is not possible in an economy seat. So I'm looking forward towards that. So this is the problem now, as far as my meditation goes, because I am now waiting for the next 48 hours to pass away, or rather 60 plus hours to pass away. So every hour is a pain in real sense. Why is it pain? Because it is anticipation. I'm anticipating the seat which will be provided to me is now the most comfortable. Now it means it can stretch straight and then it can relax more than a economy seat. Okay. What if I get the seat near the toilet area? First row. Then vyapajyati. So get irritated. So I'll ask the air hostess, can I get change of seat? And she might or she might not, or he might not. Let's say I don't. So first, this anticipation of getting into the most luxurious seat is first problem. Then getting the seat of my choice is the second problem. So if I don't get that seat, then for the next 12 hours, I'm in pain. So 12 hours on the flight, another 70, 80 hours here is a really problematic. Let's say I get the idea now that I need to have the best seat. It's 8:30 now. So tomorrow 8:30 is 24 hours. Saturday 8:30 is 48 hours. Then we are talking at 5:40 p.m. departure. So which means 9 hours from then. That is 48 plus 9, 57 hours of wait. Plus another 12 hours. So it becomes 69 hours of pain. Right? Just because I am imagining the best of the seat. So the Indriya Samvara I need to see is this, not to imagine. And instead, see it like this. So now this is my seat here. And then I can go like this. Same thing what happens in the flight. So if I can be comfortable here, can't I be comfortable in the flight? And obviously, I can't be sitting all the time. There's first class, business class, economy class, premier economy class, or whatever it can be. It means the same thing. You require seat because you require some support to the bones. Otherwise, it presses. So you require something soft. So let's understand. If I really understand this, it's only for the pelvic bone, not for anything else. And the bone is not mine. Anyway, it's just like the seat is not mine. The bone is not mine. Like when my father died, and then the ashes, the bones were powder. I couldn't see the pelvic bone and other things. And when my mother died, also, I couldn't see the pelvic bone. It's powder. So, can I do like this? It brings in instant relaxation, instant relief from suffering. That means I don't have to anticipate for the next 57 hours plus another 12 hours. Right? So, 69 hours to reach Sydney. Another 1.5 hours of business class travel to Brisbane. This one thing. On the touch. Now, on the taste. How much can you eat? If I eat more, I have to go to washroom more. If I eat less, I don't have to go to the washroom more. Because as much as I eat, that much of waste is going to come out. How do I know this? Simple. If you have a juicer at home, try this out. You put the stuff there and all the things will come out from the other side. This is the mouth and that is the anus in the juicer. If you have that kind of juicer where you put from top and then on the side, you'll have all of this um, grinded thing coming out and the juice is coming in your small utensil. So if I observe, that is the mouth on which it is feeding, and there is the anus from where it is coming out. So a most intelligent person, a wise person, would not indulge in that, no matter whatever luxurious food they might give because of the class. So then, should I order many kind of drinks and food and all that? Not required. All that I require is water, but that's most easiest, and it doesn't cause constipation. So looking at my health condition, no matter whatever they provide, they might be providing good, thank you, but then I will take only what is required. So let's say I had lunch in the afternoon and they give something at 7 p.m. Should I take? Should I take? That question doesn't arise. If you're hungry, eat. Not hungry, don't eat. Just say thank you and get going. So, what did I do? I did some work of eating. And then this most easiest now. So, two things taken care. One is the touch, one is the food. Another one is the sight. So I require to put on that big TV and watch entertainment. Not required. They're gone. That leaves with ear. You want to use it for something? No, leave it. That last one is the nose. Should I have to do anything about the nose? Nothing in particular. So the food smell comes. It comes and it goes. Somebody might eat a lot and they might fart, and then the smell would come and it'll go. Both are smell. From the food is the farting. So ammonia, which is created in the stomach, is coming out. So what's there to feel bad about it? In fact, that's what they're inside. So leave it. So now the five senses are guarded with a pole, and that pole is Kayagata Sati. Watch the breath. Keep anchor on the breath. And that's all I need to do for next 1 hour or 2 hours. And then something extraordinary takes over. That's jhana. I'm entering from the sensual realm to the jhanic realm. So I come into first jhana because of this watching of the breath. It's first jhana. So what I do is just on the breath. So satova asasati, satova pasasati. So just being mindful of the breath coming in, the breath going out, coming in, going out, coming in, going out. And then it takes to the first jhana where the piti starts to arise. So compared to the seat of Qantas, this piti has more better enjoyment than the seat. So I've replaced the sensual with jhanic. I sit there. Then it automatically goes to the second jhana where the piti is the highest. But sukha is also coming along with that. Sukha means you feel relieved, happy. The body starts to dissolve. And the mind is not holding on to anything, no objects. Supposing if there were a upgradation on the flight to first class, doesn't matter. If there was a first class in Qantas, and for some reason the air hostess came and said, "Sir, can you take that seat if you don't mind?" I said, okay. Why? Because this sukha surpasses the sukha of the first class, where they have a bed to sleep basically. I don't want to sleep because the body itself is not there. So, what's the question of sleeping? There's no one required. So, I enter into second jhana. Now, when I enter into second jhana, this sukha keeps on increasing. So, it enters into the third jhana, where upeka also starts to arise. And the strongest is the sukha. The body disappears. That means nothing is felt in the body. Then I come to the fourth jhana. Sometimes I see light, bright light. Sometimes no light. Fine, no, not to worry. But it is equanimous, very equanimous. So now from this fourth jhana, in the next 1 hour, let's say 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock India time, is I can switch off the system till 9 a.m. Australia time. So what to do? Enter into the fifth jhana, where the body anyway is not there, so in infinite space. The plane space, the aeroplane space, and the space within the body and outside space, and all the spaces added together of all the passengers is just a space. So there is nothing called any flight at all. So now I am in a most blissed out state because there is no body, completely disappear. So can I stay in this fifth jhana for a long period of time? Yes, it's up to me to decide when to go into the sixth jhana. Let's say till midnight I can be in fifth jhana and then enter into sixth jhana, where it's just conscious, just bare awareness, just a witness, nothing else, just witness. You witness the space, the knower of the space, and then you are that. It's just a consciousness. There's nothing like my consciousness or his consciousness, her consciousness. It's just consciousness, which creates that awareness feeling, just awareness, being aware. So the knower of the space, the knower of the body is this infinite consciousness. Finite means separated by body, separated by something. Infinite means not separated. How do you separate? You separate through eyes, separate through ears, separate through nose, separate through tongue, separate through body, separate through mind. In this case, there's no separation. It's unification. Can I stay in this? Yes, I can reside in this for a long time. Maybe till early morning. I think they would be flying via Jakarta, Indonesia. So that time, and another 5.5 hours from this part of Australia to that part of Australia. It starts in Perth after Jakarta and ends up in Sydney. So 5.5 hours flight. So can I just be in the seventh jhana and not go to 8 and 9? Meaning no self, akinchaitana. Can I do that? Where the Cheto Vimukti happens. Yes. That means I don't have to necessarily go to Sanya Vedita Nirodha on the flight, but end up in 7 jhana. That's sufficient. So what I do? Anyway, it's infinite consciousness. And there are no objects. There's no subject. Without the subject, there can't be any object. That means without the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind being active, there's no objective, the objects coming to the sense door. So there's no self. So the self will come when there is something to be seen, and I am seeing. The self will come when there is something to hear. I am hearing. I am tasting. I am touching. I am smelling, like that. So what do I do? Now on the screen it shows they're nearing Indonesia. Then I get into the seventh jhana. This time for a change instead of going to 9. So for the next 5.5 hours, I'm not only in awareness, I'm conscious. I'm not only in conscious, but also no self. So the liberation of mind. I can sit, no reaction. What happens to the hunger? No hunger. What happens to sleep? No requirement of sleep. And it's completely relaxed. Okay, then time for arrival. Okay. Get down, finish immigration without you being there, then continue the seventh jhana and walk out of the door and take the bag, go to the domestic terminal. Now you require sanya for that. It's there. So I didn't go into the eighth jhana because sanya will disappear. I don't want the sanya to go. I want perfect equanimity, which is can be in fourth or in seven. So I'm in seven. So I'll finish picking up the bag and dropping it at the domestic, then waiting for the next flight. Then the question comes, can I continue in seven jhana at will? Yes, you can. You tell how much time it will wait for you. So can I be in the seven jhana till the end of the retreat? Yes, you can. While coming back also. Yes, you can. Depends on what you want. And it'll work. So if I were to close the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, you can get Chito Vimukti. And that's exactly this sutta talks about. He says, Cheto Vimuktim, Panya Vimuktim, Yatha Bhutam na pajanati. He doesn't know that this will take him to the Cheto Vimukti, Panya Vimukti completely. All that I need to see is the drawback of seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. So what's the drawback here? The drawback here is not lasting. The seed is a seed, not lasting. So major thing is gone. You're paying for the seed. And that thing itself is gone. And then the taste, that's gone because it's not lasting. You put in, goes down. No fun. So then if this goes inside and that goes outside, and then what about sight? Same. What about the sound? Same. What about smell? Same. What about thoughts? Same. So in, out, that also same. So with that, if I were to sit, I've created or got into sati. So then the question comes, can I have Chito Vimukti at this stage? Yes. Complete Chito Vimukti or perfected Chito Vimukti. So now when I get down in Brisbane, I'm on 7 jhana. forever till I go into 8. So if I say that let me go to 8, it goes to 8. The perception is very less. And can I get into ninth? Yes. But there's one problem. If in ninth without sanya, I can't, I'll be staring rather than getting to know what that object is. So I would rather do it when nobody's around. Okay, so I can end up with 8 jhanas, not 9, not required. Then the question comes, can I stay in 8? Yeah, absolutely. And how does it look? It would look like this. You know there's perception. If there is perception, there is some feeling, neutral feeling is going to be there. If there is a feeling, if there's a perception, you know there's a feeling and perception. So when I enter into Shaniel's home, there is a perception of Shaniel's home. But if I remove that, there's only home, no Shaniel. And if I remove that, there's no home except for wood and other things. If I remove that, there's nothing there. So then the question comes, did I enter anywhere? Answer is no. So if I don't enter anywhere, will I exit anywhere? No. If you enter, there's an exit. If there is a rising, there's a passing. If I don't even enter, where's the question of exiting? That's the end of suffering. And that's it. So that is Panya Vimukti. So I did Cheto Vimukti and then ended with wisdom. So can I stay in this wisdom till the 10th of Jan? Where? But what will you do with the people coming there? Nothing. You just do what you're supposed to do. When people come, create a perception. Create, not that you are, it's really existing. Let's say we go to the airport to pick up Ariu and May and all of this. You create at that time, just for the sake of it. And you laugh for the sake of laughing. You don't have anything to laugh to anyone. And you just do for the sake of doing it. It's just for the sake of it, not really being done. One day I was telling Bobby, so-called Brisbane, just like so-called etiquettes of world, you do that. Or if you think, no, it has to be with some emotions, come down to the 4th jhana instead of the 8 jhanas, come to the 4th. That's what Buddha recommends in samādhi, because it's the most easiest way to stay equanimous and also have a connect with people. So what I could do, then before Ariu and May and all these people arrive, come to 4th jhana. Then it is much easier to communicate. That's it. So with this 6 animals taken care, 6 senses, you're in a better position. Or I'm in a better position. So I can even either in 4 or in 8. not in 9. And before sleeping, go to 9. Just count back 10 to 1, out, then come back whenever you want. So you make a mental note, 4 a.m., and that's it. It will keep track. 4 a.m. comes, Sanya, it comes out of it. So that dissolution is complete closure of any consciousness anywhere. Again, come back, be in 4 or in 8 every given day. And do you want to fly from Brisbane to Bangalore? Don't. Because you never flew from Bangalore to Brisbane, so there's no point in flying from Brisbane to Bangalore. Not required. So did you experience anything in Brisbane? No. Did you experience anything in Bangalore? No. Then what were you doing? Nothing. It's empty. The consciousness is empty of content. And that's what Buddha also says. There's emptiness in consciousness. There's nothing inside there. There's no items. It's just a reflection. Take it like a mirror, a nice mirror. It reflects whatever object comes there. It's not conditioned. It's not grasping. Just reflects. If a naked person comes, it doesn't get disgusted or attracted, either way. If a fully clothed person comes, it doesn't get disgusted or attracted, or it doesn't get repelled and attracted. Because there's no concept of a clothed person as opposed to a naked person. There's nothing like that. It's just an object appearing and disappearing. And that's exactly what is Cheto Vimukti is. Your mind is liberated from contents. That mirror just shines, doesn't have any objects on it. So it's empty. And empty of what? Empty of raga. When that object comes in front, there is no raga. If that raga not being there, there can be anything called dvesha or aversion. And speaking of the object, itself doesn't exist. So it's gone. There's Nibbana. So what's the difference between Nibbana and Cheto Vimukti and all of that? Or Nirodha Samapatti. So Cheto Vimukti is the liberation of mind of contents, which is 7 jhāna. The Nibbana is not having any raga, dvesha, moha. And Nirodha Samapatti is suspension of consciousness. I can suspend the consciousness in this way also. 5:40, it's the flight. 6:40, get into 9 jhana and wake up at 10 a.m. Australia time. That's it. So the consciousness is suspended. No need to go to washroom, no need to eat, no need to have anything whatsoever. It's not sleep. Shouldn't confuse it to be sleep. It's not sleeping. There is awareness, but there is no person. So this established consciousness is now suspended. It only comes back if the proper condition is given to it. It's like a semi-coma kind of condition, if I could use that. What's the thing that has to be done? Some perception has to be there. So I would say half an hour before arrival in Sydney, that's it, done. It will hear through the air hostess saying and comes back. Now this is not Cheto Vimukti. This is Nirodha Samapatti. What is Cheto Vimukti then? Mind devoid of any contents. And no subject-object connection. Is it unconscious? No. Is it conscious? Yes. But are there any objects? No. Did you see people walking by? No. Because in Sanya, there is no person. All that I could see is some skeletons going here and there. That's what I would answer. Somebody asked me, so you mean to say you never looked at anyone? Answer is yes and no. Yes, because I experienced skeleton. No, because I did not experience anyone. So that's it. If I close the six senses in this sutta, whatever I'm referring to, I'm done for the flight. Or I'm rather ready for the flight. That would be my in-flight entertainment. So once I get down, I can continue without a break. That's it on how do we do this. So first find a fault in the senses. They're fleeting. That's the only fault. They just cannot get anything. It's just a mirror reflection, which is the consciousness. The senses cannot get anything. And that's real. They don't stand a chance. Another example I could give you is the objects appearing in the rear view mirror of a car. You can see all the objects appearing there, but you can't keep a single one with you. The first time I had this experience was in driving. I was driving. The two mirrors and this rear mirror. The second time it happened, was not having any car, but I was able to see it like that. It was a very nice experience of 7 jhānas while walking. So you lose the self. There's no self completely. It's just awareness. So the mind is dissolved completely. Okay, any questions? Yes, sir, you go ahead.
One question. What you just described about going to fifth, sixth, seventh, and all this, is it primarily for illustration sake for us, or because I'm thinking for someone who's in Nibbana, what is the necessity of doing this, or how, to which
Not
extent do you
required.
actually
Not
know?
required.
So it's primarily for illustration.
I could do like this also, or I don't have to do at all.
Okay.
If I
So
want
it's
to
for
do,
our environment
yeah,
rather
if
than for
if I
learning.
had to do, I will do. Otherwise, I don't have to do. I don't have to necessarily get into the flight. Oh, now I'm going to enter into the first jhana. Not like that. Not required.
Because the default state for the mind of Nibbana is free of content unless you want to make it anyways, right? So it's in
Exactly.
the
So I can create a content to remove the content, just like you write something, illustrate it, then you erase it.
Mm.
Just think like this. Since you asked me this question, Ariel, just think in your office you have got whiteboard. If you want to explain something to someone as a concept, which I keep on doing with Lata, I keep on writing and say that this one, that one. So it becomes easy to understand, or anybody coming, and then we discuss, and then it's better to write it and tell that. That a whiteboard is just a whiteboard. It has nothing written on that. On it, you can write. That is what Buddha talks about, the established consciousness. On that, everything is visible. But by its own nature, it is unestablished. Vinyanam anidasanam. Anidasanam. Not illustrative, not established. Yes.
If this question is too hard to answer, then you can skip. But just curious, if using language, how would you explain the difference in experience, let's say, for your default state of staying in Nibbana versus if you go on the flight and you enter the seventh jhana versus if you go on the flight and enter Nirodha Samapatti? How would these three be different in the way that we could understand?
Okay, good question. Remove the flight, remove everything. You are in Nibbana. You don't require to do all the 1 to 9 jhanas and all that. From the house, I don't have to have a house. If there is a house, obviously you have to remove the content. If there were no house, what will you do about it? Nothing. See, the thing is like this, Aryu. What's the difference between this seat here and the airline seat? What do you think? It's just seat. Maybe more cushion, here less cushion. That's the only difference I could. Maybe a leather upholstery, and this is not a leather upholstery. And it is reclinable. And this is also reclinable. But maybe some nice controls, electronic controls, and that's the max. But if you deeply look inside, just wires and all of that, right? So there's nothing as a seat. So seeing this, I cut off the seats here and there. So the near shore and the far shore is not at all there. So the circling is stopped. If I'm unhappy about this seat, then I'm looking forward to the airline seat because then there is comfort. What if there was no seat here to enjoy or suffer? Then will that make any sense to enjoy and suffer? No. So then I don't have to enter into jhānas. So I can be niramisa itara sukha. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I did not get great clarity on the difference, but what I understood, maybe you're indicating, is that this nibbana is a say a panya route, where panya is fulfilled, you don't need the jhana and all that.
Nothing.
It's never
Nothing.
anyway. It's not going to create.
Yes. It's a
So you want to cut off the time entirely. Let's say Buddha had a back pain, he can enter into jhana like that. But otherwise, even back pain doesn't bother. They could say.
yes, in the back bender. If it is too much paining, like even in that other sutta, he says enter into the jhana. If you have physical pain, enter into the first jhana. That will liberate your mind from that consistent pain what you're getting. Why that is required? Let's say, even for Buddha, why it is required, or for anyone it's required. Because when you're in deep pain, you can't enter into Nibbana directly. Because it's like a waterfall. It steps down, steps down. So the first step is samisa. The second step is niramisa. The third step is niramisa itara. So you can't directly enter into niramisa itara, even though you know how to get there. So when things are good, you can be niramisa itara, but when things are bad or worse, you have to enter through niramisa.
Does this include arahat or no? You're referring to
even Samma Sambuddha, forget about Arahat, even Samma Sambuddhas.
Oh.
Right? So what did Buddha do when he was almost dying? He entered into 8 jhanas. He didn't have to do that. Actually, he has taught Nibbana, but he has to enter into the jhana. The feeling of death surpasses all painful feelings. Yes.
I see. So I guess this reminds me of this Girimananda Sutta you've been referring to. So I think for him, he's a anagami, which you said, or someone who's very good at jhana, but at that time he couldn't enter.
Someone has to guide him. Guide him. Take Sariputta. He was in dysentery. So he has to enter into jhanas separately. Because body pain will bring it down. That's the reason there is a sutta called Patala Sutta. You should read that. P-A-T-A-L-A-S-U-T-T-A-S, Patala Sutta. Chasm. The body is chasm. Unfortunately, we have got into this.
Thanks for explaining.
Yeah, and separating from body is not easy. During pain. Yes, Bobby.
Navilashi, see, in this some Bojanga suttas, I think Buddha and even I think 2 other people, when they were deeply sick, they are reciting these 7 factors of how I'll understand that 7 factors of enlightenment, and their sickness is over.
I couldn't hear the last part.
Now, the Bojanga suttas in that section, by reciting these 7 factors of enlightenment by somebody, even Buddha, when he was sick, he could relieve that pain. And also another 2 monks also did the same thing. I think Mahakashipa or something. And then they have relieved the pain. They didn't have the pain. So I think it is not jhana, right? It is 7 factors of enlightenment. So you heard of? I think obviously you know that sutta, right?
I know the sutta, but you look at Mahaparinibbana Sutta. He enters into jhanas. So it depends.
No, Mahaparinibbana Sutta, yeah, definitely. But these particular 2 suttas, they were reciting Bojanga.
That's fine. That's fine. You can. Bojanga has the same factors. If you have Sati Sambojjhanga, then you get Dhamma Vichaya Sambojjhanga. Then you have Pasiddhi also, right? Pasiddhi is part of jhanic only. You have piti, pasiddhi, all of that is there. So how do you say that it is
That means,
not having jhana?
yeah, so that means they both are like, we are just dividing it. Both have the similar factors
Yes,
or
absolutely.
similar. Yeah.
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you, Vilas.
Sure, sure. Good question. See, if you look at it, then when you have sati, Dhamma Vichaya happens. When Dhamma Vichaya happens, you rouse energy, the virya, sambojjhanga. Then piti, pasiddhi, samadhi. Three sambojjhangas are there. Samadhi means what? Four jhanas. Bobby, do you agree?
Yeah, yes, Vilas. Yeah, I definitely agree that. But I was when the paper distinguished between this jhana and this enlightenment, then I get confused. That's why I asked you. Samadhi definitely means jhana. I think.
Correct.
Definitely.
Yeah, samadhi is jhana only. Okay, good. Any questions? Anyone on this uh, closing of sense doors and attaining the jhanas, and then the niramisa itara sukha, which is devoid of raga dvesha moha. All good. Yes, May.
I don't know whether this is slightly off track or not, but we were just talking about death. There was a sutta about the monk who committed suicide. I think he cut his
Godika.
neck or something.
Godika.
So Godika. So what would he have gone into jhanas as well? Like obviously, Mara couldn't find him. So
No, there is like this. Number one, if you reach arhat phala samapatti, whenever you die, whether you die out of suicide, you die in natural causes, you die with whatever means, the vijnana will get extinguished.
he will just feel the pain, though. I mean, so the jhanas are to ease the pain.
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, it's a tranquilizer.
Mm.
So, what will jhana do? Let's take an example. Now, I'm having a terrible knee pain. Assuming, anyway, my ligament is torn. So, today, I'm having some pain. Now, that pain can intensify. If it intensifies, it disturbs the mind. So, before it starts paining a lot, I enter into first jhana. Then the remaining is automatic. Meaning, the endorphins will get so much released in the brain that it will mask the pain. So, what am I doing here? There's one chemical, or rather, what they have found is Anandamidi. In 2001 or 2, they have found this molecule in the brain that get released. So, in bliss. So, what happens? The pain receptors in the brain is shut down. That's exactly what painkillers will do. They will literally work on that pain receptors. It will numb it. So that's it. Then there's no pain. Or take another chemical, which is there in anesthesia. That chemical inhibits, meaning it will replace the experience of pain. It just inhibits that. It just changes the composition. So the brain stops reacting to that stimulus. So if there is no stimulus, there is no response. So basically, when you inject the anesthesia in the body, it cuts the cycle. That is pain pleasure cycle. So now it becomes numb. So you keep on talking to the patient, saying to him, now you're going to sleep, now you're going to sleep, now you're going to sleep. Now you can cut open anything in his body or her body. Nothing will be felt. So then the question comes, can you create a natural anesthesia? Yes, you can. Same kind of chemicals. I'll first allow Mangala. She's a doctor. So maybe she want to add something or do something, and then Bobby, you can speak. Yes, Mangala ji. Mangala ji, you're on mute in case you wanted to talk.
Uh, I want to thank you for all that you have given me all these days. And this is a very personal experience and I mean, it's too recent to forget. And actually, I went through a CABG operation, I told you that.
Yes, you're told me
And
that.
they cut open the whole sternum, and they open your thoracic cavity. So when you're out of the OT, for a long time, for about 2-3 months, your torso is all full of pain. And then I remembered all what I did. I was very scared. I'm very frail. I was weighing just 40 kilos when I went in for the surgery. So I just followed. My Pali is very bad. But whenever I listen to your discourses, I get the full concept of it. I transfer it into my own language. I'm quite senior. I'm about 68 years old. So I understand the essence of what you are saying, but my Pali is very bad. So I followed whatever, what all your discourses told me about pain, especially the pain factor. And then when I emerged out of the surgery, they were giving me a fentanyl drip. So the surgeon came and asked, how much pain are you feeling? How are you feeling? I said, I'm feeling very fine. Absolutely no pain. He says, decrease the fentanyl, decrease the fentanyl. So they made it half. After the half, he came out. The next round, he said, how is the pain? Do you have any? I said, no pain. I'm feeling very fine. So he says, end the fentanyl drip. Don't give her any drip. Give her or put her on paracetamol. So paracetamol is supposed to be very less. And I could see on the monitor that, especially the anapanasati that you taught us, I was doing those deep breaths and the slow exhalation. And I was discharged. They have those packets now in the corporate hospitals where they discharge you on the 5th day in spite of whatever it is. So when they discharged me, they put me on oral paracetamol. And oral paracetamol, I came home, I said, I don't believe in paracetamol. I don't want to take it. So all my husband, my friends, they said, you'll go mad with pain. And believe me, I never took a single painkiller. It's now 4 months into the operation. And, I'm quite happy. I've recovered. And it's all very, this is a true science, I mean, whatever you tell me, I relate it to the neurological factors of the brain. I'm a gynecologist, so I've forgotten a lot of the material that I have learned, but it works. I mean, pain is something that, and then I realized, especially over the last 4 months, that we must inculcate spirituality into all realms of medicine. It's a science that we have neglected, and it has really helped me to minimize my drugs, my especially my painkillers. So I thought, this was, I'll also be writing a blog on this, but I thought, this was a forum where I could put this, that, it helps you. The Girmananda Sutta that you've told us about, I remembered about that a bit. I couldn't move, I couldn't read, but I just, closed my eyes and I, did the breathing and remembered the suttas, even when I was very anxious. So I just wanted to put that on board, and I'm happy now and want to thank you. I've rejoined you after 4 months, 3.5 months. So I thought I'll put this on board.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. Appreciate it. Thanks for sharing.
Yes.
So you can do that. So actually, you can create natural endorphins in abundant quantity, which will mask your pain. You can do that. You can change the brain connection. So you can move from the default mode network into a new network, new neural pathways, which will mask the whole thing out. Meaning, whatever is the habit pattern that is created, including anxiety, insecurity, this, that, you can change it. That means your amygdala becomes smaller and smaller. So the fear and fright reaction gone. It's replaced by the prefrontal cortex. So you can create new avenues, a completely new thing. 1 minute.
I'd like to add one more thing also.
Yeah.
There was a second realization that, if I had joined you earlier, say about 3-4 years earlier, I might not have needed the surgery at all. All my vessels were blocked. All three vessels were blocked. And it actually must have happened after my mother's death, you know. It was a real suffering from me. I mean, there was nothing as great as her. So, I've been very athletic. I've been very disciplined about my food, and I was running marathons. I've always been an athlete in school, and I felt, that if I'd met you then, this is another thing. I bought an Apple Watch, and I had to buy an Apple Watch. So uh, I exercise. Post op, I'm doing a lot of cardiac rehabilitation. That is a lot of physical exercises also. The pulse does not change, but if I meet somebody who, mentally threatens me, my pulse just shoots up. So, this concept which we had, that, it's only the physical thing that changes your vessels and your heart, is also like, I've proven to myself that it's the sympathetic tone of the system, the autonomic nervous system, that actually reaches your heart. It's a very, very specific response that has been recorded on the Apple Watch. I talk to somebody on the phone, my pulse will go up. Somebody whom who gives me distress. So this is another thing that is, very not stressed in our medical sciences. That it's the sympathetic tone, which is also very important. I mean, they're realizing now, they're bringing out papers, and people are being, those TED talks and all. People are putting it on the forum, but this has been done by Buddha. What I mean to say is, he's put it in his suttas. So another thing, that is the thing about you, that you bring out his suttas. It's not like that you are. So that helps a lot. You are explaining his suttas. No, they are not other. I feel everybody else in the world is inventing religions also, they are, you are a more purer person about the suttas. That is what I wanted to say. I found
Thank you.
that over time. So thank you again, sir.
Thank you.
Namo Buddha.
Yeah, from 2018, that is what I first felt when that Bhante asked me, can you do a discourse? Because you're very good. I wanted to know, what should I speak? That's the question. If I speak on my own, then it becomes something which I've invented. I thought I'll go by the sutta. But that's what has helped me. I would rather stick to the exact sutta. And you should be able to see for yourself during death also that it's exactly how it works. So there shouldn't be any doubt in anybody's mind. Like when I was talking, shouldn't be a doubt. So it should work. And it works. So basically, if you take the neuroscience route, if you change the network, just like we change the network in our environment here, we have servers, we have networks, we keep on changing from this node to that node, we keep on changing. Same thing is happening in the brain. You have so many nodes on the network, you just have to pull up the plug. That's it. Over. The entire old data is there, but it is no longer accessible. If you ping to that server, it's not going to be there. So it will show request timed out. Simple. That means I have one bad memories. I will replace it with good memories. When you say replace, means what? You're pushing aside this server and you're creating new server. So then let's say this IP address is one thing and there's another IP address. I create a new IP address to which this network is now connected. So the previous network is no longer accessible. That means all the experiences I have had on that server will remain, but it is inoperable, meaning there's no experience of that. So all my past deeds, which are stored there in that network, can be drinking, smoking, womanizing, this, that, all kind of negative, let's say I had, are there. But I don't have to rely on that because that network is no longer usable. That network, entire server and its network is cut off. If the question comes, will that karma come to you? When you yourself is not there in that server, how can that be associated with you? It's not. And this new one, what I've created, is totally different. It's brand new system, uncorrupted. So can I be on that network? Absolutely. But there's one problem. The hardware device, this body, has a problem. It ages. So there would be pain. No matter how good is your network, hardware is not that okay. It heats up. There are so many things. You require fan, you require so many things to keep it cool. So why don't I then establish the network topology in such a way that I can stay in that rather than the physical? Now, what do I need to do? Create endorphins. That's it. Don't create dopamine. Create endorphins. More endorphins. More endorphins. Don't have dopamine at all. Dopamine is one hormone or one chemical that is a witch actually, or as a bad thing. Not good thing to have dopamine. Why? It gives you instant gratification. It's gone. What to do? Supply endorphins. you have endorphins, you can withstand more and more pain. That means your anticipation keeps on reducing, or my anticipation keeps on reducing. There's no anticipation. So there's no rewarding system. Do I get rewarded? No, required. So when there's no rewarding to be done, is there anything called as raga coming? No. Because now there's nothing to be rewarded. Then will there be dvesha coming? Aversion. Because this, I'm looking for a reward for doing such a thing. There's no dvesha and there's no moha. So if I'm staying on endorphins and other hormones which are much better than dopamine, so it will cut the gas tank of dopamine, which means serotonin is not required to be created, and the oxytocin is not required in that much of quantity, meaning you feel secured and you feel socially acceptable. I don't require to be socially acceptable. Why? Why should I be? Why should my happiness be dependent on social norm? Not required. And why should my happiness be on security? There's nothing called security. So the dopamine deficiency creates insecurity because the cortisol will increase. I don't want cortisol to be increased. And that's what increases, like what Mangala was talking about, the pulse moving up because of cortisol, because it generates cortisol as a stress hormone. It's fight and flight response as opposed to rest and digest. So can I now balance out the parasympathetic nervous system with the sympathetic nervous system? And I can do that. So I found a new neural pathway which balances, which is the fourth jhana, by the way. It balances between the parasympathetic and sympathetic. It's a beautiful thing. Somebody is shouting, you just watch. Anyway, it's going to go away by himself. Let's say I'm watching TV and there's a fight between Rajdeep Sardesai on one side and there's another anchor who is very famous, who doesn't allow anybody to speak. And this Rajdeep Sardesai also doesn't allow anybody to speak. And these two are shouting. If you take anybody's side, you will get worked up and your heartbeat will increase because of cortisol. Now do one thing. Don't do anything. Just watch them shout like dogs. Which dog is better? This dog or that dog? And that's it. You're having fun with dogs. So will your beats per second increase? No. It doesn't increase because the cortisol is not created in the bloodstream by the brain. Heart is not beating faster. So you're cool. And after some time, you can switch off that TV. That's it. Your new neural pathway will do this. You don't have to go by your default mode network, which is what I have brought from my past lives. So I can cut it off. So all the karmic, all the sankharas are in that. It will never be used again. So what will happen? Perishes. If there is no energy supply to that, if there's no electric supply to that, it gets corrupted by its own natural cause. So all the seeds are destroyed. That's the end of suffering. This is exactly I'm going to do in the flight. I mean, I don't have to get first and second and third and fourth and all that. I'm just saying. So I don't have to sit like this and say, okay, now should I be entering the first jhana? Don't have to do anything. That's all. So which node on the network? No nodes. Any other? Mangalaji, what do you think about neurosciences I have as knowledge? Is it good enough, bad enough, or confusing enough?
So you have been a science graduate or not? But you read a lot and mm, you're right on the dot. Uh, uh, I don't think even a science graduate has anything to add to that. Uh, I don't know about a neurologist, but uh, I think it matches very much with the suttas and the teachings, and actually they give the solutions. What the suttas do is based on the physiology, the solutions are there, and you realize that, oh, this is what he means. When you read the science, I think you are doing a lot of reading, and you're very accurate about it, and that is why you are able to respect the suttas also. Bring it to us at our level. That's exceptional. That's very good, I would say.
Thank you.
We are very lucky, especially and that is why probably your following is so big. In spite of you not making any effort. Uh, oh, what should I say? Effort to popularize yourself. It's only by word of mouth that I think everybody has joined. At least I have joined because Vijaya and Kalpana have, brought me in. So I think this is happening. It's a slow and gradual increase in your following, but they all respect you, and they definitely. I think
Thank
it's
you.
very good. Yeah.
Thank you, Mangalaji.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya.
Yeah. Yeah, may see you soon. Okay, so should we end?